Let's be honest, we've all followed fashion at some point in our lives, haven't we? It doesn't matter what decade you come from, you are influenced by a certain look. In the 1950s, it could have been the blonde bombshells, it could have been the Teddy Boys, of course, which really started something of a phenomenon. I mean, when you look back to things like Rock Around the Clock with Bill Haley, who would have thought that he was a fashion icon? But he was. Even that gabardine coat, you know, the belted look. Apparently people simply just copied that. They liked the style. When you fast forward to things like the 1960s, come on girls, admit it, how many of you had a beehive? How many hours of backcombing did that take to achieve that look? Shocking when you think. And then the men, of course, were all going to be mop-top Beatles, right through to the 70s and 80s, Club Tropicana. Remember, with George Michael, everybody copies fashion in some way. But of course, when you're a world leader on the world stage, you do have a few problems. And in particular, people scrutinize every single aspect of your look. This is now the bigger issue over here for the Right Honourable British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, because he's either started something of a trend or something of a ridicule. And as ever, here's the long and short of it. You see, the thing with Rishi is he's meeting world leaders, flying around being our ambassador, doing his very best, of course, to represent Great Britain, the United Kingdom, the Commonwealth, England, Ireland, Scotland and Wales. But everybody looks at the things that he's wearing. And this has caught many people's attention, the half-mast trouser. Now, for my recollection, correct me if I'm wrong here, ladies, but I thought that came back a little bit during Miami Vice. Do you remember in the 80s? The rolled up espadrilles and all that sort of stuff. Everybody wanted to dress like they were on the beach at Miami. Didn't quite work at a wet Wednesday in Dewsbury trudging around the market, but that's how fashion is, isn't it? But on a serious note now, as I say, the British Prime Minister is being ridiculed, and a lot of people have been asking me, Neil, why does he wear his trousers like this? Well, as you know, I'm stationed at Downing Street on a number of occasions, and it's always good to share the inside track with you. Now, there are apparent reasons as to why the Prime Minister has decided to opt for this look. Apparently, the most obvious look is simply this. It elongates you. The Prime Minister isn't the tallest of gentlemen. He might be powerful, but he's not tall in stature. And he believes, according to that good source, that by sort of exposing your ankles in an Edwardian lady, then it makes you look slightly taller. Now, you know, this is nothing new. It's been copied many years before, all of that sort of thing. But I'm not quite sure if it's actually working out. And rather than people thinking, yes, he does look taller, he doesn't necessarily look the smartest. A lot of people are suggesting that perhaps his tailor should have a quiet word and maybe just extend the length of the trouser to sit as it's supposed to sit in fashion, just on top of the shoe. For now, though, it seems that Rishi is very keen to make sure that other things are diverting attention away from perhaps some of his policies that are not working out incredibly well. Whichever way you look at it, and you have to say this, whichever way you do view it, it gets people talking about him in a more, shall we say, positive light. But the bottom line is, dare I say, the long and short of it, most people are simply laughing at his missing trousers. As ever, I'd love to know what you think to this particular fun story in the comments below. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.